What up, everyone? My name is Glenn G. Gatling, and this is all about understanding. Another week of All About Understanding. Before we get started, those of y'all who've been following me so far, you know I cannot start any segment without thanking God for the opportunity, and thanking you all for being an audience to me, allowing me to share my thoughts, and just lending me your attention for a few moments as we take this positive growth together. As you can see, my backdrop is a little different. Background's a little different. I'm here on my college campus, just kind of getting my thoughts together and enjoying the beautiful weather out here. As you can see, there's nobody out here because it's spring break. But no matter what time of day it is, no matter what time of the year it is, because I am, so busy, what I like to do is come out here any chance I get and just take my backpack and walk around and play that role of a college student. Because those of y'all who know my story, a little bit about my story, I wasn't doing that umpteen years ago in my previous chapter of life. I was at college partying. I was doing whatever falls under that category and being unproductive. So now at this point, I don't have any spring breaks. There's no such thing as spring breaks for me. I've been on spring break for the last umpteenth years. Now when I'm at school, like I said, I need to take full advantage of it so I can stay focused. For those of y'all who are in school now, lesson, please take advantage of it. Take it seriously. Enjoy it. Enjoy your time, but do take it seriously, so you only have to do it once. Another thing is that if you are failing, ain't no such thing as spring break, y'all. Stay in your books, get better, re-energize yourself so you can, stop failing and you can keep going, because you can do that. But those of y'all who are on track, continue to be on track. Take a little breather, but yes, stay focused. Okay, so. Last week, you heard me talk about understanding yourself, and have a better understanding of yourself is going to be the foundation, the basis. That's what we're building on. You're going to hear me talk about that every week from now on, and it's going to be repetitive. You're probably going to get tired of me saying it, but I am a true believer, and I'm a witness to the fact that if you don't understand yourself, let me back up. Understanding yourself. If you understand yourself, you will be a more successful person. Everything you do, we have to understand ourselves. When you're choosing your career, you got to understand who you are, so you're making the right career choice. When you choosing your education, choosing what school you're going to go to, same thing. Understanding who you are, so you can understand what you can provide to that college as well as that college provides to you. Even when you go to doctor's appointments, they're asking questions. You're filling out questionnaires, and you have to check mark about you, about your health, having a better understanding, so your doctor can understand who you are, so y'all can go forward with a healthier lifestyle. So same thing with your family, and that's kind of what I want to talk about this week is your spouse, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your husband, your wife, whatever the case is. If you want to understand yourself, so that person understands who you are. And so let me explain. Last week you heard me say I was committed to having a family. I was committed to being with a family, but I was not committed to being a family man. And what I mean by that is, I was playing house, okay, and that's what a lot of us do when we're in the beginning stages of that process. And I'm not talking about when you meet her or meet him and y'all kicking it and doing what y'all do and kind of just enjoying each other's time. But when you sit back at that point in your life and you say, man, this might be the one. Or she might be the one, or he might be the one. Now, when you take that serious step to figure out, if this is the right thing to do, when you say I do, that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about not going forward with that step until you understand who you are and being real with that. Communicating with your spouse, saying, look, I love you, I want to be with you, but I got some things I need to work out for myself. I got some things I need to understand myself so I can be productive in this relationship, because and a lot of people have fear of doing that, fear of losing that good time that they're having. But here's the thing. when you don't take that serious step forward, when you don't commit to that part of what I'm talking about, whoever says I do to you is not saying I do to you. They're saying I do to GGAT, but they're not actually saying I do to GGAT. You know why? Because I don't know who I am at the time. So how you expect that person to know who you are? So then what happens is 6 months, 6 months, a year later, whatever the case may be, then all of a sudden y'all having problems. Because why? Because now you discovering yourself. Now you figure out that there's some things that you were doing that wasn't you, but that's who she married. Now in my case, I was blessed. I was lucky. Let's just bottom line. My wife knew who I was. My wife knew who she married, or who she was getting with, I should say, at the time. But that was the outside of me, and she saw little bits and pieces of quality. I believe I was who I was, but not understanding that I had some issues, as I talked about before, with the addictive personality. Not understanding that I had some issues meant that there was part of me that was coming out that wasn't me. So that's what we had to work on. But it still falls along the same lines of understanding, who you are. But like I said, she knew me better than I knew myself. So when she left me and she said, "You holler at me when you get ready," it was a temporary move. It was a postponement, because she knew if I just found myself and I found within myself who she knew I can be, then we were going to be all right. And that's where we at now. So many times I was talking to some people this weekend, and so many times we get married based off convenience and not commitment. And what that means is that, this sounds good. Okay, I think everything's going to work out. Right now, everything is good. She got some kids, and this is the right thing to do. And I'm tired of being lonely. I'm tired of being single. So I feel like this is the right way to do. But you're not doing anybody any justice by doing that. And once again, I'm not automatically saying that is the wrong person for you. But what I am saying is part of that dating process, and part of that kicking it process, when you take that next step, do not fully commit to a relationship until you have fully committed to yourself, of understanding who yourself. And that goes for both parties. Now, when y'all have a better understanding of yourself and y'all present that to each other, and then you realize that this is who I need to be with, then move forward. Trust me, I'm telling you, it works. Because now when problems arise, and as we do transform, as we grow, what happens is that there's still a foundation of who y'all are that y'all know and that y'all fell in love with. So now y'all are growing together. Now y'all working things out together. Now when there's problems, y'all able to communicate that with each other, because y'all have an understanding. When your wife or your husband or your boyfriend or your girlfriend is tripping and a little out of character, that's just what it is. It's out of character. So we need to figure out, what's going on, and y'all can work that out together. Trust me, everything just goes a little bit more smoothly. I'm not saying y'all gonna have any rocky times. I'm not saying that, but once again, it's kind of like when you on the basketball court, and I've been playing with this guy for years. When I know he's having a bad day, I'm picking him up the next week. Why? Because I know who he is and I know what he brings to the table, versus somebody who I have no idea who they are. So when I see them out there wilding out and not playing like the teammates that I think they should be, I'm not going to mess with him anymore. Thus, we're going to be arguing. Same thing in your relationship. So as I get up out of here this week, that is the main thing I wanted to bridge last week to this week. Understanding who you are. Once you understand who you are, then you're bringing your authentic self to the relationship. So your spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend is understanding who you are. Not only that, when your children come out, they know who mommy and daddy is. They didn't know a version of mommy and daddy for 10 years, and then you flipped it on them, because now you discovered yourself, and then now this is not the person. Of course, they're your son, they're your children, and you're the parent. So they got that saying, blood is thicker than water, but it don't always mean that it's going to mix. It doesn't always mean you're going to have the best relationship. So don't take that for granted, y'all. Take your time. if you are in a relationship now and that is the issue, I pray and I hope that y'all can work it out until you get a better understanding for yourself. But once again, whatever the end course may be, moving forward, understanding who you are will positively have you move in a direction where you will be successful in the future in everything that you do. I'm out. I thank y'all once again for All About Understanding. Thank you for joining me. Y'all be safe. Swallow that, digest that, and I'll see y'all next week. All right.